Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Once again, it's time for my client Ted's Conjugate vlog, but a quick reminder, if you guys will please click like down below, be greatly appreciated. If you're not following or subscribed, please do so. And if you guys will drop me a comment, let me know what you think about his training. If you have any questions about the conjugate stuff we do, why we do what we do, just commentary, I'd love to hear it. But specifically, what do you guys think about what we picked for the maxes? And all of that, his supplemental work. I'd love to hear people's thoughts on it, of course. But let's get over into it. So this week we did, because he does all closed grip pressing, we did a long pause. It's obviously less than his normal because I wanted him to do a 3-second pause. Went pretty good though, all things considered. Very happy with it. So then for supplemental work here, we do closed grip bench. We do incline, right? We do strict standing press. We do chins. And then we do, again, all sorts of other rowing and stuff. So here we are seeing the incline work, and then we get over into his strict press. And yeah, he does rep work with 155 on it. Keeping in mind, he did a 205 strict press not that long ago. I believe, what was it, last week? Which was a PR. Keep in mind, he's in the high 180s, so he had bumped up to 191 for a short bit, but he said it was just definitely water. It just kind of ballooned up. He's like, wow, I'm way up here. But he's down into the 180s again. It's just one of those weeks where it happened. We've been consistently coming up. He's put on about a pound a month or so, pound to pound and a half. But he's very, very lean, so he can get away with a little bit of aggressive like that because, again, the guy's got visible abs, he's lean, got striated delts, all that stuff. And again, just his overall lifestyle. But yeah, so we're real good at strict press, we're real good at incline, and that works because his other side hobbies, are boxing, BJJ, stuff like that. So again, all that closed grip work and all that pressing strength really carries over to the boxing and stuff. Same thing, we're doing more axle bar work. So you guys will see later in the vlog, better grip training and all of that. So again, but we do a lot of weighted pull-ups, a lot of weighted chins, which again, great for grapplers. All that upper body stuff, and then a lot of the, again, fat bar work and things like that. But of course, we do huge amounts of lower body because, again, hip extension and all that. So here's our lower body day. We did a 500 deadlift here for max effort. We didn't get a PR this time. It felt hard. And that's okay because we only recently hit 500 on conventional. We did 525 on sumo, but we're getting stronger at the supplemental stuff. So he's gotten stronger on these camber bar good mornings. We're up to working with 225 on these, all right? Up to working with 225 on these. Although I need to talk to him about the plate math because I'm looking at what I'm seeing here, and we're supposed to be doing 225, and that's what we have written, right? Anyone else see what I'm seeing? I'm gonna need to mention that to him. He'll see the vlog. Be like, hey, Ted, you do know that's not a 45-pound bar. I don't know. I can't see the plates close enough. But so he may have been doing heavier on this than we thought. All right. So then after that, of course, we do belt squats. This belt squat machine. He did these this week instead of the pendulum thing. Again, he's sitting way back, so we're getting more posterior chain. A little less quad when you take that stance that he's taking versus, again, pushing forward a little bit. But still, we're still getting a lot of quad work, though, if you look at the knee angle, obviously. Right? But definitely you get a little more hip and posterior chain involved when you do them, pushing back that far with the hips, which, again, we're fine with. We need hip extension. We need all that because that's what's limiting some of his lower body stuff at this point. Not that it's bad. We pull sumo 525, we deadlift 500. For a guy who's under 200 pounds, we'll take it. But again, we're always trying to get to that next tier. It's kind of like, let's get to, 525, let's do 550. Let's get to a 550 on sumo and conventional, right? Never really strong enough, particularly, if we're going to be a serious athlete. And in his case, he is. He's been competing in sports pretty much well into his youth. So again, just a lifelong athlete. So again, we take that into account. So people are kind of like with him, man, he does a lot of volume and a lot of stuff. He does conditioning almost daily of some type. We do GPP. We have a GPP day in here. But keep in mind, guys, lifelong athlete. So speed bench against bands. Again, we do usually like 10 triples for him, or is it 9 triples now? I need to double check my notes. And so we do that. So we speed bench and he does his other supplemental work. So these are done with 30-second breaks. So again, bands, compensatory acceleration. I just realized those kabuki plates might be 25s. Those are just like thinner plates. So that might be what we were seeing on that bar. I was looking at going, that's an 85-pound bar. But, and again, they like to design a lot of those that way so that they're at standard competition diameter, which is really a great idea. I like it when companies do that stuff with a deep dish plate like that. So then, of course, then we do all his other stuff. I didn't have weighted shims from the first workout, so we have the footage here of him doing those. So again, we have through the weighted shin footage in here from the second upper from the dynamic day. So again, weighted shins, pretty much the failure. He's doing axle bar rows also, and then we're doing some axle bar curls now, which again, good for grip, good for forearms. Axle bar curls are pretty solid. In fact, I have that same bar. All these bars he has, I'm laughing. I literally have these exact same bars and brands. I recognize them. Like I know them distinctly. These are all Titan bars. Because I own these same bars. I own that same camber bar. I own that same axle bar. I literally have them in my garage. I own those same plates. Which are always good on the platform. Those training plates can be nice for stuff like this. But here, again, then some axle bar curls. Of course, Ted's got great biceps, so I kind of let him run free with his bicep training. He just does whatever he wants because we're not training for physique. He's got good biceps. He knows how to train his biceps. I'm worried about all his strength then. So again, I'm not concerned. He likes to just rotate through lots and lots of that. But I program his tricep work for the most part because of certain responses I want to get with all of it to keep getting all that pressing strength coming up. And then here he is doing some incline skull crushers, right? Incline skull crushers. Again, great for the long head there. So if that area is lagging, and it still hits the long head, but meaning you're also getting that lateral head really, really well. These are tough on your elbows. I will say to people, if you do not have healthy elbows, this is probably not a good exercise for you. But if you do, yeah, it can absolutely work for building a lot thicker, stronger triceps. But specifically, this type of extension does give good carryover to your benching. So again, just be aware of that versus some of the stuff we do purely for the long head, where we go way behind the head. All right, then of course we finish up the week with speed squats, right? Finish up with speed squats. And then speed pull. So he's doing just speed squats here. He didn't set up bands, and that's okay. I have math for him for both bands and without. And then we're doing deficit conventional speed pulls against bands, which again, this is fantastic for lockout strength because this is what we need for him more on his conventional deadlift. All right, guys, really happy with this week's training though. So I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.